Location: Cedar Falls, Iowa. Time: October, December 2014. The sound that woke the neighborhood was not a scream. It was a door closing. At 5:42 a.m. on October 18, 2014, a single car pulled out of a driveway on Redwood Lane. The headlights cut briefly across a row of quiet houses. The engine idled. Then the car disappeared into the fog. No one watching from their window would have noticed anything unusual. The street was known for early risers: nurses, factory workers, church volunteers. The man driving the car waved to a neighbor as he passed. He always did. By noon, one person would be missing. By nightfall, a town would begin questioning what trust really meant. Cedar Falls was the kind of town where silence felt familiar, the kind that settled after sunset and stayed until morning. People locked their doors, but rarely worried. Children rode bikes until dusk. Names mattered here. Families mattered. The man everyone trusted had lived there for 14 years. His name was Daniel Mercer. He was 46 years old, married, a father of one, youth mentor at Grace Hill Community Church, treasurer of the neighborhood association, the man who shoveled sidewalks for elderly neighbors before they woke up. When the police knocked on doors that afternoon, no one mentioned Daniel's name. Not yet. The missing person was Emily Harper. Emily was 29, a graphic designer who worked from home. She had moved to Cedar Falls 3 years earlier after a quiet divorce. She liked houseplants, early morning walks. Podcasts played low while she worked. Emily was observant. She remembered birthdays. She sent thank-you messages that were longer than necessary. On the morning of October 18th, she had planned to meet her sister for breakfast at 9 a.m. She never arrived. At 10:17 a.m., her sister called her phone. It rang until voicemail. That was not unusual. Emily often forgot where she left it. At 11:03 a.m., the calls continued. Text messages went unread. At noon, her sister drove to Emily's townhouse. The door was unlocked. Inside, everything looked normal. Her laptop was open. A mug of tea sat cold on the desk. Her jacket was missing. Emily's phone was still on the kitchen counter. That was when the silence changed shape. Police arrived at 12:41 p.m. There were no signs of forced entry, no overturned furniture, no blood, no note. Emily's car was still parked outside. One neighbor remembered seeing Emily that morning around 6 a.m. walking toward the small trail behind the houses. She walked that trail every day. Another person noticed someone else walking with her. A man. He was tall, wearing a dark jacket, moving at her pace. The neighbor could not see his face. When officers asked if that seemed strange, the neighbor shook her head. People walked together all the time, she said. No one disagreed. Daniel Mercer lived 3 houses down from Emily. He was known for his routine: early morning walks, same trail, same time. He volunteered to speak with police before they asked. He invited them inside, offered coffee, spoke calmly. He said he saw Emily that morning. She smiled. He waved. Nothing unusual. He said he walked alone. His wife confirmed he left the house at 5:40 a.m. and returned just before 7. Daniel had never been in trouble. Not once. No criminal record. No complaints. No rumors. When police thanked him, he said, anything to help. And people believed him. By the second day, search parties formed. Daniel organized one of them. He printed maps, assigned groups, checked names off a list. He comforted Emily's sister, told her not to lose hope. Someone noticed he knew the trail better than most. He explained that he walked it every day. Another volunteer mentioned Daniel seemed tired, pale. His wife said he had not been sleeping well. The stress was getting to him. A police officer noted that Daniel corrected someone about the time Emily usually walked. She leaves earlier on Saturdays, he said. No one asked how he knew. It sounded like concern. At Grace Hill Church, prayers were held for Emily. Daniel stood at the front with the pastor, his hand on the podium, his voice steady. We are a community, he said. We protect our own. People cried. Heads nodded. Parents hugged their children tighter that night. Daniel drove Emily's sister home after one of the searches, said he did not want her to be alone. He reminded her to lock her doors. She thanked him. On the 4th day, a jogger found something near the trail. A scarf, light blue, soft, folded carefully beside a tree. Emily's sister identified it immediately. It had been a gift from their mother. The location was less than half a mile from Daniel's usual turnaround point. Police asked Daniel again about his walk that morning. He repeated the same story. Calm, precise. But this time, an officer noticed something new. Daniel described the fog that morning. He said it was thick, heavy, hard to see through. Weather reports showed the fog did not roll in until after 6:30 a.m. Daniel had already been home by then. It was a small thing, almost nothing, but it stayed with the officer. Trust is built slowly, brick by brick, over years, over favors and familiar faces. In Cedar Falls, trust had a name, a routine, a friendly wave in the fog. No one had questioned it. Not yet. By October 19th, people began noticing subtle things. Daniel's knowledge of Emily's life seemed too precise. Notes, logs, and small corrections to timelines he should not have known. On October 22nd, a sketchbook belonging to Emily was found near the trail. Pages she had never shown anyone, personal drawings of her apartment and the town. A single note: he watches more than he lets you see. Police compared handwriting. Similar, but not exact. Enough to unsettle them. Emily's sister confided in a neighbor. I don't know why, but I feel like Daniel knows more than he says. Another friend remembered Daniel had offered to check Emily's apartment months earlier while she was at a late meeting. She had thought it thoughtful. Now, she could not shake the unease. The town slept under the weight of unspoken fear. And Daniel Mercer continued to move through their lives as if nothing had changed. On November 3rd, a surveillance camera near the Cedar Falls community garden revealed a reflection of a man walking the trail at 5:42 a.m. Grainy, obscured, but the gait, jacket, and timing matched Daniel Mercer. Investigators began reviewing his home. Odd calls, repeated trips near Emily's apartment, notes on her routines. Not threats, not violent, but obsessive. An anonymous letter arrived. You are closer than anyone realizes. Keep watching. Police had no origin. Daniel said nothing. Emily remained missing. Daniel remained calm, familiar, measured. November 12th, a shed on the outskirts of town, belonging to a friend of Daniel's, contained Emily's scarf, folded carefully atop other personal belongings. Tangible evidence that intersected with Daniel's routines. Police questioned Daniel again. Calm, polite, precise. Yet subtle cracks appeared. Hands tightened briefly, pauses just long enough to unsettle. Cedar Falls' trust had begun to crumble. Every gesture of Daniel's kindness was now tinged with suspicion. On November 21st, police presented all evidence: backpack, scarf, notes, surveillance. Daniel remained calm, but his pauses, blinks, and gestures betrayed subtle tension. Emily's sister stared at the trail, remembering every act of kindness, every smile. Betrayal was slow, creeping, quiet. The mask of trust had shifted, revealing the first hints of what had been hidden. On December 3rd, Daniel was questioned one final time. Every piece of evidence laid out carefully, methodically. His calm faltered, only briefly. A pause too long, a flicker in his eyes. The mask of kindness, now cracked, revealed subtle calculation. Cedar Falls streets remained quiet. Emily Harper's fate remained unknown. And the town questioned everything it had assumed about trust and appearances. December arrived. Snow dusted Redwood Lane. Frost-lined rooftops. Daniel Mercer continued his routines. Walks, church, volunteer work, friendly smiles. Everywhere he went, eyes followed him. Whispers filled hallways. The confrontation had shown cracks, but the ultimate truth remained hidden. Emily Harper was still missing. The town held its breath, knowing the story was not over. Cedar Falls had learned, appearances can deceive. Kindness can mask obsession. Trust can hide secrets until it is too late. The trail remained quiet. Streets moved slowly. Fog returned some mornings. And the question lingered, unspoken. How well do we really know the people we trust? And how much can kindness hide?